Good day or good evening, everyone. My name is Peter Kulakow. I'm a lead breeder at IITA. I'll be presenting with Gaby Mbanjo, who is a trait development breeder at IITA, and Robert Kawuki, who is a lead breeder with the NARS in Uganda, NaCRRI. And we represent a much larger group that's been working together to develop a scalable management system for market-oriented variety development in cassava, putting partnership into practice. Next slide. This is part of a consultancy where we have engaged Stefan Weber with the sponsorship of the NextGen Cassava project, although Stefan was brought to us through an earlier engagement with by EIB. So we're very grateful to EIB for helping to get this project going. The project is being run by a core team of scientists that you see here, Elizabeth Parks, IITA, Gaby Mbanjo, Phineas Notarahunga, myself and Bela Tikan, and then Vish Banda, who is our product RTB product manager at IITA, and then the NextGen Cassava leader, Chiadosi Igasi. And we have a much larger extended team working on this program that brings in the IITA hubs working on cassava, as well as NARS partners from 5 different national programs in Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, Uganda, and Nigeria. Bish Das is also an EIB representative on our extended team. And then we have people from Cassava Base as we develop this scalable management system. We want it to be integrated into a digital platform that we can manage it on the long term. We also have Richard Ofe from NextGen. Next, we also have a steering team that involves donors and EIB leadership as well as IITA leadership, who are helping to guide the project. This project is taking place over a 9-month period. We are 6 months into it so far. The first phase, we were setting up the components to build a scalable strategy. We developed processes, a governance design, data and criteria alignment. In phase 2, we've been developing a target operating model for product management that's integrating these different components and working closely with our national program partners. And in phase 3, we'll be looking at actually implementing and making operational the product management system, and in particular developing templates and digitalizing it and integrating it into Cassava Base and to have a sustainable platform to run this. Next. So basically we're looking at product advancement through the 1CG stage gate decision team process. And of course, as we advance products through the different stages, we'll hear more about these stages with another presenter. We're looking at the particular types of decisions that are made at each stage gate and the people that are involved in making those decisions, the cross-functional team with different composition depending on the type of decision that's being made. So, and that's the essence of this project. So we'll continue with Gaby talking about the crop calendars and other aspects of this project. Gaby?
Thank you, Peter. So one of the key achievements of this project is the establishment of crop calendar. So for each region of sub-Saharan Africa, in general, the rainfall at different times. So the peak activity also do occur at different times. What we did was to map in the calendar when this activity actually occur, including the planting, harvesting, as well as when the advancement decisions are made. If you look at the slide, you could see that, and we did this mapping across all the regions. So if you look at the slide, you're going to see that the decisions are made throughout the years. So once we generate the regional calendar, what we did was to merge it into a single advanced calendar where all the different regions are represented. So this Cassava Advancement Calendar allowed to stack the meeting and the event. So you can therefore use the calendar to plan, for example, when the product advancement meeting can happen, when you can do regional meeting, national meeting, or when you can do all Cassava advanced meeting. Another key important achievement from this project was the role standardization. Indeed, establishing and standardize the role is needed if you want to structure the product management and the product advancement process. In this figure, what we are showing, we are presenting indeed the key people that are involved in decision making in product management and product advancement in Cassava. We do have a total of 148 people with unique job title that were identified across NARS and IITA. So far, we have 27 unique roles, 12 disciplines, and 3 entities. Here we present a more detailed overview of the role and the decision, the role and the discipline involved in advancement decision making in Cassava. So we came up with a team with different expertise, which can be grouped into 3 levels. So the higher levels here is what we call entity. And within the entity, you have the marketing, outreach, social impact, the research and development, and the seed supply change. Each of these entities, as you could see, split into discipline, and within each discipline, you have a very specialized role. I'm going to take an example. Within the research and development, we have about a discipline, including the breeding operation services, communication, data science, disciplinary experts, management oversight, project management, social and gender science. So if you take the breeding as a discipline, within the breeding, you have breeders, you have lead breeders, you have national program lead, you have a project team lead, you have breeding manager. In the case of disciplinary expert, for example, you have agronomist, you have entomologist, food scientist, and pathologist. So what is the benefits of this role standardization you would like to know? So this exercise has enabled us to identify the role gap. For example, in IITA, we do have a single crop manager for the RTB crop, while in the NARS, in all the 5 NARS partners, this role was not identified, and the need for a product manager in NARS program was pinpointed. So role standardization also highlight the need. This role standardization has highlighted the need to bring in the farmers and the processor as they provide also some end user perspective. So I'll leave the floor to my colleague, Robert Kawuki, who is going to speak about other key achievements we made within this project.
Thank you so much. We view that purposeful breeding prioritizes products, processes, and people. And we strongly believe that when we make competitive cassava products, they require competitive processes and competitive decisions. So we're trying to share the interplay between these 3 Ps, that is products, processes, and people, all along the cassava breeding process. Next slide, please. So through the consultations that have been made, we have made a remarkable journey to harmonize cassava breeding into 7 stages. So you realize that from these 7 stages, you have the following take home. The first one is that you realize that we integrate end user knowledge, we integrate pre-breeding aspects, cyclic population improvement, and then the multi-stage improvement. But importantly, each stage has 6 distinguishing features. Each stage is described to standardize. The purpose of standardization of each stage is that such that it's understood by each and every partner. Secondly, each stage has a duration, meaning it has got a start and an end. Each stage has a dimension, a metric or scale, because we strongly believe that what cannot be measured can be done. And then each stage has got a pipeline process. We view a process as step or steps that lead to a specific outcome. And then each stage has got a stage gate. And we view the stage gate as a bridge or as a gateway to the subsequent stage. And then each stage has got a team that has to make a competitive decision. As an example here, if you go to stage 0, you realize that we have identified 3 processes. Now, again, each process leads to a specific outcome. So when you look at stage 0, you see that we have got processes that look at market research, processes that try to align CG and NARS mission objectives along the countryside respective development agendas, and then the pipeline strategy. Now, when you come and you look at stage 6, you realize that you have got one process, which is basically the NPT trials. So we have tried to harmonize the cassava breeding to be standardized, to have an understanding on each of these stages and also what each stage describes. Next, please. The next thing is a snapshot on the advancement process. And we are segmenting this into 2. You realize that we have the crop strategy and then a product advancement management. Now, when you look at the crop strategy, again, you see we have got 4 processes. You review, you prepare, update, and adjust. Again, these are processes, meaning that each process leads to a specific outcome. When you look at the product advancement management, again, you see that we're talking about 4 processes. You analyze, prepare decisions, decide, and implement. In the end, this planning reinforces a mindset of flexibility, urgency, and robustness because of the desire to have competitive processes, competitive products. Next stage, please. Now, academic debates are important, but importantly are decisions because they make us move forward. So I just want to share shortly on the process that we make through on making decisions along the cassava breeding process. Next slide, please. So we have adopted what we refer to as a rapid model for each process. Now, for the rapid model for each process, it means that we have a team that recommends. Now, a team that recommends basically looks at facts and data, but has no vote, has no veto for, has no veto for right. Then a team that agrees, which has got a veto. Then a team that performs. Then a team that provides input, but has no veto. And then a team that decides. So it is the local role clarity or team-wide role clarity that enhances decisions, which I want to share with you on the next slide. So here we have anchored the stage gates. We have anchored them on the major entities, which are 3. So in the major entities that are 3, we talk about marketing, outreach, and social impact, research and development, supply chains. And we have also anchored these between IITA and NARS. Now, the take home from here are the following. The first is that we have standardized both the NARS and IITA along the 3 entities. These are the major entities of marketing, outreach, and social impact, the entities of research development, and the entities of supply chain. Then secondly, is that when you go to the standardized roles here, let's compare, for instance, shifting from stage 0 to stage 1, you see that while at IITA, product management are the decision makers for transit from stage 0 to 1, Then within the NARS program, this decision relies with the market economics. Now, when you shift to stage 5 and 6, you realize that at IITA, the decisions is basically agreement has to happen, while at the NARS, it's basically a decision is made by the research and development. So in summary, what we are saying here is that we have anchored rights to shift from, we have anchored rights that are mindful of the entity and standardized roles. And these ranks change depending on this decision or depending on the stage gate that, that is being addressed. And we believe that with this local role clarity and team-wide clarity, it enhances decision-making and also leads to consequently having competitive products. I want to share with Peter such that he can conclude the next steps that we're going to follow.
Thank you very much. I'll just conclude by telling you where we are in the process. We're entering our third phase of the process, which is basically looking at operationalizing and implementing what we've been able to do so far. The orange boxes here highlight some key activities that are taking place in the third phase. In particular, we've made presentations to the IITA breeding management and presentations to the NextGen Cassava leadership. We're also working on developing presentations for NARS leadership, because engagement and endorsement by the management of both the CG partners and the NARS partners is critical to make this move forward. We're also working at communication with EIB leadership as well. At the beginning of December, we're going to have an implementation workshop that brings together a large number of the members of the cross-functional teams to validate the processes that we've gone through and begin to build the templates that are necessary to guide our decision making. And then also in this phase, we'll be working with the data management teams, especially with Cassava base, to digitize the process into a platform that can help us guide us forward. So with that, thank you very much for listening. And this is an ongoing process, and we look forward to further interactions with all of our partners to make this successful. Thank you.